So, it's been a little while since I've done any of the retro achievement development. So, I've got a couple of open tickets for some stuff I gotta fix. Or should fix. Yeah, one for Ghostbusters 2 and one for Cyborg Justice. I'm just gonna start by looking at the Ghostbusters 2 one, because I feel like it should be somewhat easy to resolve, so I guess we'll find out. So here's my two open tickets. Let's take a look. Alright, so this one seems to be triggered when it shouldn't be. Benji Brindar says, I lost a life early in the scene at the courthouse, yet this event still triggered for me. The event is talk to my attorney. Triggered at the wrong time. Okay, so I think I first have to demote the achievement so I can edit it. And then I'll have to spend some time setting up a save state or something to get me at the scene so I can look at the RAM and test it. So alright, demote. Say while I'm here, let's just take a look at how this works. So D2 scene level, so wait until the scene is level 3 complete. So I'm dealing with level 3. Pause the achievement if the lives drop, and reset if the scene is less than the start of level 3 or greater than level F. So there must be something wrong in the life logic. I'm not totally sure how many lives the person had when it triggered, so I'll have to work out both cases. Demote that bad boy. Alright. Let's go back. So, well, I mean, I'm fixing bugs in achievements. So, I mean, take my headphone off a little bit so I can hear my voice better. So, there's this cool thing called RetroAchievements. Some real clever guys came up with it long before I got into it. And basically, you can, I'm sure you're familiar with emulating games on the computer. So, these guys came up with this great idea where you can create achievements for all your old favorite retro games. So, maybe 6-7 months ago, I got into this and became a developer, which basically means I can create achievements. And so I created a few achievement sets so far. One for Ghostbusters 2 on NES, one for Road Blasters on NES, and one for a game called Cyborg Justice on Sega Genesis. And part of creating achievements, periodically bugs will be discovered where the achievement doesn't trigger when it's supposed to, or does trigger when it's not supposed to, and then people can submit a ticket to say, hey, I found a bug in your achievement set. So I haven't touched the achievements for a few months and finally decided to try to fix a bug I have open. I have one bug open for this game and one bug open for Cyborg Justice, but the simpler the platform, the more basic it is to develop achievements. So I'm starting with the easy one, and then I'll move on to the Cyborg Justice one for Sega. I haven't even attempted to create one for like PlayStation or anything like that yet. But it's a lot of fun. If you're into playing retro games and emulating them on the computer, and you want to add some extra fun to some games that you love, RetroAchievements is a lot of fun. Their website is retroachievements.org. So check it out if that's something you're into. I apologize if this video is going to be real boring. It's probably going to be more analyzing than playing, so I don't blame you if you don't stick around, but I appreciate you dropping in and stumbling across my thing, my video. Okay, so the bug that's happening for this one is it triggered even though it wasn't supposed to. This particular achievement is supposed to be survive this level without losing a life. So the way it's programmed is the emulator keeps track, or at least the achievement keeps track of the stage you're in and then your lives. So there's logic in it that says if your lives drop, then it should pause the achievement from ever triggering, and then once you reach the end of the level, if your lives didn't drop, then you earn the achievement. So what I need to do to track down this bug is first I had to go to the level where it's happening, so I just did that and saved my state so I can reload it as needed. And then I need to look at the RAM addresses for the player lives and then the player level to see if they're behaving properly. This section, if you're interested, like, you can stop me if you're not interested. This is like the details of the achievement. So there are two sections basically of how the logic works. The first one is does the level reach the end of the level? So at this address in memory is what level you're on. This value is like the scene or actual level, and it's stored in this memory address. And then these two addresses are for your lives, and the way the lives work is it's split in half. So like the tens place, so like 10 lives, 20 lives, 30 lives is stored in one RAM address, and then the ones place, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is stored in another RAM address. So this logic is supposed to pause the achievement from happening if the value drops at all. And then this other one basically resets the achievement so it can only be earned if these conditions are not met. So it resets, and the conditions are if the level is outside of level 3, basically it resets the achievement. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. So this window is where I configure the achievements. Let me change so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. This window shows me the current state of the addresses, so the values, so I can watch this and see what's happening. And a bunch of these I just kind of had in here because they're useful at the time. At least this last one was really useful. The Ecto shield timer, I could basically force it so my car had a shield just so I could get through the level faster. And I don't need any of these right now, so I'm going to get rid of those. And I have another window that has like a list of all the RAM addresses that are useful or important. So I'm going to add those to the, oops, I already had that one. Add those to this little memory bookmarks window so I can watch the values. And then the level one. Okay, so I've got the player lives and the level. So in this window up here, this thing that says hits, these should increment if the conditions are met. So this top one doesn't trigger until the value is the end of the stage, and then these ones should trigger if a life goes down. And that as soon as it pauses, it should prevent the achievement from happening. So let me resume here. So should she, and it didn't change. Maybe because it's, oh, because it's not active, I don't think. Hang on. Okay, here we go. And I have to make it active. Okay, so let's go back to the state. So I should see one of these increment. Still not incrementing. What the A? I didn't activate it. That's fine. Alright, one more time. Sorry, it's been a while since I've messed with this stuff. It still didn't do it. It says it's active. Okay, so there's definitely something weird going on here. So maybe it's not the right address for some reason during this part of the game. Sometimes games do that. The RAM addresses will change depending on how the game was programmed. Alright, it still says it's active. So it's just checking everything. So there's like a player 1 lives and a player 2 lives. I'm going to, let me go ahead and add the player 2 ones to my little bookmark list over here so I can watch them. Maybe for some reason in stage 3 it changes. Doesn't really look like it though, but anyways. And it's kind of strange, it says 0. It's like I'm actually missing the RAM address. Oh, it says I have 0 lives. That would probably explain it. Okay, so let me... Yeah, this could be a little tricky. Okay, let me pause it. Give myself 3 lives. And resume the game, and this number should jump up to 3. Okay, let me save the state real quick. Okay, so now I should see one of these increment. And I didn't. I definitely see a drop. So I've got the right RAM state. So that's good. Did you ever play this game? Or what kind of retro games do you like to play, if any? I can't remember. Oh, it looked like it did go. I saw it briefly jump up there. I think that's the problem. This needs to be prior. Let me look at some of these other achievements, see if that's how I programmed it. I said Delta, but maybe it should be prior. Okay, so prior is definitely the ticket here, I think. So I think that means I need to go fix the rest of them. Thinking about that though. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, well, successfully fixed my 1 ticket for this game. So, let's put these back. Promote. 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 Alrighty, I'm gonna go back to the web browser real quick and make sure that they all show up. It should go from 24, yep, to 31. And let's go into my ticket and say, hey man, I fixed it. Manually awarded. I don't think that's what they were asking for, but that's okay. Oh, actually no, wrong thing. Cyborg Justice. I need the other one. Oh, crud. Here we go. Talk to... Oop, no, wrong thing. Jeez. Ticket number. Okay. I corrected the logic. Should only trigger properly. Close. Oh, resolve is fixed. Oh, okay. Perform action. Yeah, one ticket down. Alright, so I think I've had enough fun for tonight. It's going to take me a while to do the Cyborg Justice one, I'm sure. Let's see what we're talking about here. Doesn't trigger. And what is this? This achievement is beat all 3 sections of level 5 on normal or higher difficulty. So let's just beat the levels. That shouldn't be that complicated, I wouldn't think. Yeah, it's a little more complicated. So reset the achievement if... Let me zoom in a little bit here. Reset the achievement if the demo is playing. Reset the achievement if the game mode is not arcade. Reset the achievement if it is not a one-player game. Pause the achievement, which means prevent the achievement from happening, basically, if the debug or cheat menu is opened. That's another important thing with these retro achievements. Part of the developer requirements is you're supposed to write it in a way, the logic, so that it can't be triggered when it's not supposed to. But obviously, like, bugs happen, but when you first get into retro achievement developing, you basically request to be what's called a junior developer. And for your first go at it, basically, everything gets reviewed, and if the pro seasoned developers see any issues with it, they give you feedback, and you have to fix it and make it work before it becomes an official set. And then usually after some experience, you can get promoted to a full developer, and then you can just make whatever achievement sets you want. There are some ethics and rules involved. You're not supposed to make achievements for games that already have them if the last person who made achievements for that game is still an active developer. You can ask them and say, hey, I've got this idea, I'd like to do this, and then as long as they give you the go-ahead, then it's no harm, no foul. But it's just kind of be respectful to each other, you know. You'd be surprised how difficult it was for me just getting into the retro achievements to find a game that no one had developed any achievements for. But Ghostbusters 2 was the first one, and it's not a great game, but it's nostalgic for me. I used to have it as a kid, and I was kind of surprised there wasn't an achievement set, so I was like, hey, I'll make one for Ghostbusters 2. So I did that, it got reviewed, and I kind of took notes from some of the other developers. They have a Discord channel, so it's a great place to go talk to them and get some help. So they helped me learn the program environment and everything to figure out what the heck I was doing. And they basically give you a score on like how well you did things, like how well did you RAM hunt, which is basically you look through the RAM and then you figure out what all the RAM values do in the game. So a way you can do RAM hunting is that you start a game and then you intentionally take damage, and then you look for RAM addresses that drop in value. Now a programmer could program it really weird and have it go up in value, but you're just going to look for changes. And then, like I was doing earlier, where I was freezing some of the values, you can do things like that and just like change a value and then see how it affects the game. So that's called RAM hunting, or at least that's how I call it. I think they call it the same thing, but anyways. So you get graded on that. When you create achievements, you also create like graphics for each achievement. They're like badges, so you get graded on how they look, if they're kind of meaningful or not. Like, let me go show you, for example. These are the icons that I was talking about. So yeah, for the level ones, I have this kind of template I used where I've got this robot guy in the corner, and then I have like the stage number, and then the background is like a picture from the game. Most of the time people use game art in the badges because it's easy. And then like in this game, Cyborg Justice, you can build a robot with different specs. And so I have little badges that have like each of the weapons where you can configure. So you're an achievement for beating a level with each configuration. Stuff like that. So you get a score on your badges, you get a score on your RAM hunting skills, you get a score on how well thought out and designed the achievement logic is. And then if you get a good enough score and everything is sound, then they promote it to an official set so people can play it and earn the achievements. I started out pretty strong, and I guess I learned quite a bit when I made my second achievement set, which was for a game called Road Blasters for NES. I pretty much modeled it after the same thing. I had like a game plan for what kind of achievements I want. They were kind of meaningful achievements. Like, there's some rules, like you're not supposed to make achievements that just trigger automatically, but you can make them in varying difficulty. Like, so beat a level, you get an achievement, or it can be beat a level without losing lives, or beat a level under a certain amount of time, things like that. So I kind of have like a template of or ideas of basic achievements for people to earn, and then more challenging ones like reach a certain score, yada yada yada. So I kind of used all that, what I learned from the first time, put that into Road Blasters, and did so well that I became a developer after getting my second set promoted. So I was like super stoked. And then Cyborg Justice, I went off and did it all on my own. Once you're a developer, you don't have to get them reviewed. You just have at it. So I was pretty stoked on that. Okay, so sorry, I was talking about this thing. So this is a Cyborg Justice one that's broken. So it did not trigger. I was reading through this stuff. Sorry, I kind of lost track now. Getting back where I was. So pause the achievement if it's the debug gets entered. Okay. And then here, if FE12, if the difficulty is greater than or equal to normal, that's a requirement. If, let's see, ACE 6, if the level is equal to 4, ACE 9, section 012. 012. So if it's stage 4 and each section, oh, geez, that's nice. Didn't know you could just put your mouse over it and see what it is. So it counts those, and if it transitions over to level main boss. Huh. I can't imagine. Maybe in normal mode there is no main boss, and that's why it didn't trigger. So that one I'm gonna, I feel like it should in normal mode though. And then it resets if, I see the problem. This reset if is killing it. So there's these things, these like special things here. It says either reset if, pause if, or blank. If it's blank, it just means that this condition has to be met at some point. Reset basically says if this condition is met, reset the achievement back to 0. So even if you've met some of these conditions, they'll get blanked. These hits, if it's 0, means it just starts counting it up. So it kind of means like at the time you earn it, it has to be active in order for it to trigger. If you set it to 1, it just needs to happen once, and then it remembers it. So these conditions, they have to be trigger at least once. So that means World 4 has to trigger once. Section 1 of World 4, Section 2 of World 4, and Section 3 of World 4 all have to trigger once. And then the last thing, and it has to be normal mode or higher. And you have to make it to the final boss. The problem is this reset if the level is not level 4. So these all trigger, and then they all get reset to 0 as soon as you go to the boss. Part of the challenge with... Okay, so I think I can fix this one right now. If I tell it to reset if less than 5... I think I'm going to have to break it out a little bit, but basically the logic will be reset if it's, I guess, less than 4 or greater than 5. That should do it. That way it can be 4 or 5, and then the rest of these will trigger. So I think I can take care of that. Might as well try. Then I'll have to test it. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I can fix this one. Because I'm going to have to play through the game to test it. But AC6, okay. But I should be able to just put in the logic for it now. This game takes a while to get that far too. So let's demote it so I can work on it. No boss yet? Must be getting close. I hope. Oh no. Save. Oh wait. Oh yeah, there is no boss in this one. Whew. So it should trigger. Hope. Yeah, it worked. It's weird. Oh, okay. I was gonna say it looks like my ticket disappeared, but nope, it's still there. But now it's fixed. Yay! Alright, well, I guess I accomplished everything and more that I was expecting to do tonight. Got both my tickets closed. I think. Yep, open ticket 0. Woo! Alright, well, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for tuning in, Pizza Man. Hope it wasn't too boring. Seemed like you thought it was interesting, but that was just the beginning, I think, when I was actually talking about what the heck I was doing. It took a while to play through that just to test that last achievement, but at least it's fixed. Have a good day. I'm gonna have some dinner. Alright, take care.